good morning, everybody.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to One
to
Decent
a
Pastor.
frigid edition of One Decent Pastor.
It is 10 degrees outside right now.
That means it's warmed up a bit
Yeah.
because it was stinking cold this morning when I got up.
Pretty much zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 10 is still pretty cold.
By the way, last week when you're talking about how cold you guys were and how warm I was Flagstaff, not Phoenix.
You said you were going to Phoenix.
We fly into Phoenix.
Well, then
and
that's
and
Phoenix.
And then you drive to Flagstaff, which was about 5 degrees.
I saw a picture of you guys in front of the Grand Canyon, and you looked cold.
It was
Yeah,
not,
you did.
That
Because
was warmer that day.
The wind down there,
Yeah.
when it is cold, is not good.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
No, but it was sunny and beautiful. It's one of those things that you can't appreciate when you see it in pictures, but when you stand there and you just feel how small you are, looking at this thing, it was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, had a great trip.
Yeah.
Missed being here.
Welcome back. Glad to have you back.
Enjoyed listening to the podcast last week. But yeah, it was really good. Really good time away.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It's good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks.
Definitely so.
And you got your In-N-Out burger fix.
I did. That was kind of we were just driving back and thinking, like, where can we stop? And you pass those little signs on the highway that talk about the restaurants that are on at that exit. And it's like, well, this can't be a
I'm
coincidence.
surprised you did that.
I don't hate In-N-Out Burger.
Okay.
I just think
You just don't
there
appreciate
are
it
way
for what it
better
is.
burgers. It's a fresh burger. I like that. You know what? I really didn't intend to start things this way. Just a fight. But here's the thing: season your food. Just season your food. That's it. The fries could not have less salt on them if they tried. I don't know what they're doing with the fries.
I'm not a fan of salty
Salt
fries.
your fries.
I like In-N-Out fries.
They don't salt them at all.
Yeah, I like that.
None. Really. You just just plain potato.
I salt mine,
Yeah.
and I get why they don't. That's not an In-N-Out. Like hardly anyone's salting their fries anymore because everyone's like tripping
Really?
out on salt. So they're letting you salt your own fries.
and then just a little seasoning on the burger.
Whatever
but I mean,
salt
those are just
everybody else
those are
was
just
using,
fresh fries. They're
McDonald's
good.
uses.
No, the fries are great.
They're the right size.
They're similar to McDonald's once you put salt on them.
You know what? I'm not even going to have this conversation with
And
you.
then just season the burger a little bit. Just
What are better burgers than
Really?
Season the patties.
Season the burger?
Yeah, just a little salt and pepper.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. And then it's great.
What would you rate higher than In-N-Out? I'm
I
not
mean-
saying I think In-N-Out's the best either, but I'm just curious.
Like Dandy's and Pilot Butte.
Wow.
There,
So
there
local.
are more of the the gourmet burgers that are not
Sure.
fast food. As far as fast food burger joints go, that's probably, got to be number one, number two.
Okay, that's
for
fair.
fast food. But when you're just talking about like a really good burger someplace,
To me, it's better than most gourmet burgers. But that's just me.
yeah,
That's just
yeah,
me.
yeah. Okay, well, gee,
All right.
got started.
I'm not happy about this.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably the odd man out. And you can send your comments via email,
That's funny.
but we enjoyed
I'll
it.
get over it.
It was good.
I'll put Brent's email in the chat.
Yeah, thank
here
you.
so everybody can just send directly to him.
I know. It's weird. Anyway, it was good.
Good.
Yeah, nice.
Enjoyed it.
Good.
We're gonna talk about this shirt.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Don't be.
David's got on a festive, like Kramer Christmas shirt.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, you don't wear green a whole lot. Maybe ever. I don't know.
No, I hate green. I hate wearing green. I don't want to wear green, but I did. I figure at least one day out of the year I gotta look
Christmas it
festive.
up.
So
Yeah, it works.
So this is a one day out of the year, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
What better time? Who better to share it with than the wonderful people that tune into this podcast?
Yeah,
So you're
That's
getting
like-
something
yeah.
special.
100% polyester. It looks like.
Oh, it's legit.
It's
dude.
legit. It looks
Yeah,
nice.
you said it looked like a flag, and it feels like a flag. It feels like
It's
I'm wrapped
very
in a
thin.
flag.
Yeah, I thought
That's
I
awesome.
thought you were like bringing in an Argentina flag or something from the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think they won or something, but
Yeah,
but no, just
Nope, just Merry Christmas, man.
yeah,
Black cat and a rod. So,
fantastic.
and then I wore my monkey boots today, and my two-tone belt
Okay.
for Terry Hall, in memory of Terry
Oh,
Hall.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Lead singer of the Specials
Yep,
passed away this week.
he did.
Young guy.
Yes, maybe 62 or something. Cancer,
Yeah.
stomach cancer. So,
I didn't hear what it was.
yeah, cancer. Just got to him fast.
Too bad.
So,
It's kind of weird when the band you've been listening to for a long time, and you don't think that they're old or that we're old, and they're not.
no, it tells
they're
you it's
passing
coming.
away. Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of weird.
It's coming. It's right around the corner.
Yeah,
So, anyway, specials. They were awesome. Terry Hall was awesome.
yeah,
So, yep.
I agree.
So yesterday I was listening to some specials.
So you put some thought into your ensemble. I woke up and thought,
did.
what feels warm?
Yeah.
That was my goal too. I put on the thickest shirt that I own today.
I actually have 4 shirts on right now. So
Yeah, I only have one, but
Yeah.
it's the thickest one of the bunch.
nice.
Yeah. So not only are you the interior decorating pastor, you're the fashion pastor as
Sure.
well.
Fashion pastor. Absolutely.
All right.
If you feel, good about what you're wearing, and then you're going to feel good about yourself, Chad. Isn't that what Lyle said, something like that on Napoleon Dynamite? Maybe not.
Something like that.
I don't know what he said.
Christmas this week, we got both services in 3R, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I heard you said 6 o'clock.
No, I screwed it up.
I'm like trying to yell at the television,
Andrew texted me right away.
but it is 5 o'clock
5 o'clock.
Saturday evening, Christmas Eve service in 3R, and then on Sunday we have Christmas Day services at both locations at 10 o'clock. So hopefully people can join us for one or both. Or,
Yeah. And I won't be with you on the Christmas Eve one. I'll be here. I'm doing nursery.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
What do you think of that? And I'm going to wear this shirt for the kids.
That sounds weird, David.
I was asked if it was Lindy and Levi, and they just, I think it was her that was like, he needs help. I'm going to be with the baby. And I'm like, yeah, I'll help. So
All right.
I'm doing nursery.
Very cool.
So it better be a short sermon.
We're fixing to get everybody in and out in an hour is the hope. So at
Fixing.
least in 3R. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're doing, but that's the
I'm
hope.
trying to
in
do the same
3R,
thing
so,
in La Pine.
yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Trying to put together a 20-minute sermon's not easy, I'm finding. 'Cause-
Really? Because I keep hearing that if you have long sermons, that means you're lazy.
Who said that?
Everybody.
Did we say that?
No, have you
Oh,
ever
no, we
heard
didn't
that?
say-
Have you ever heard that saying?
Well-
I have heard people say that it's harder to put together a 30-minute sermon versus like a 45 or 50-minute sermon.
Bull.
Well, it depends on who you are. I think some people trying to figure out what to cut and how to edit, that the crafting your sermon and knowing what to leave in, what to leave out, that
It's
can be
hard
hard.
for
Yeah.
me to do a short sermon because I feel like I can't develop it well.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the hardest part.
Well, that's
to
the
me.
hard part about like a 30-minute sermon is like you have to be succinct and maybe a little more intentional, about
See, I
what you say to fit it in the time frame.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. I'm gonna get pissed again. Sorry,
You can't say that.
you can't say that on here. What are we doing?
We can believe it later. It's all right.
Oh, you guys are just triggering me today. I don't even know if I'm in the Christmas spirit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
I don't even know if I could.
In and out is delicious. All right? It is.
And long sermons are delicious.
Yeah.
Depending on who's preaching them.
Yeah, it depends.
I think
that's absolutely true.
I like when you, I don't
There
have
are
any-
no.
You preach an appropriate amount of time.
Yes.
I don't want to make it about me.
No, I'm just saying
But-
it works for you.
You're right. There's people that shouldn't preach longer.
Agreed.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. What do we got?
You need some-
We got some things.
What's on the docket?
I don't know why I found that funny. The docket. Did you hear us talk about swaddling clause last week?
About what?
Nothing.
I did listen to the whole thing, but it sounded like it said swallowing claws.
Swaddling?
Oh, swaddling clothes.
Swallowing
Yeah.
claws. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think it's swaddling clothes, and I don't have a thing about it. It's just
You kind of do.
apparently I
you
do.
kind of like
Yeah, I
it.
heard you call me out.
You did it the week before when
Yeah.
you brought it up and you giggled a little bit.
It's in a passage I like today too. So
Oh, it's in their passage.
it's not why I like it, but
Are you guys ready for Christmas?
yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to do a whole lot, but
No, my wife takes care of almost all of it.
99%. Of,
Yeah, she's the one who's thoughtful of everybody else and keeps track of everybody else
Mm-hmm.
and buys and wraps. And I look at her and I feel like a loser. I'm like,
I have to get Joy
awesome.
something, and then I help with the meal. So
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah. I got
What
my
are you-
wife her
oh.
gift a few days earlier than I usually do. And then she discovered the gift, so
Oh.
I didn't even have to wrap it.
Wait,
So that worked
fortuitous.
out.
Wait, your wife discovered the gift?
So she's
Tell the story.
she's kind of a 7-year-old when it comes to gifts.
Tell the story.
So like when we were dating, we went out to her parents' house one time and her parents weren't there, and she opened all of her gifts like with a razor blade, like so it couldn't, and then wrapped them all back up like
Yeah.
they were. And so like she can sniff them out. So like you got to get her stuff like last minute. Otherwise
And you
she'll
were
find it.
dating, so you knew what kind of woman.
Oh yeah, I knew what I was getting into.
You did it anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then it's your fault.
So anyway, so I got her a gift, and it was in the back of my truck for a couple of days. And then she's like, "Oh, we need to, take this thing, take a couch into Bend that we sold." And It's like, I don't want to touch. Trying to have a reasonable excuse not to put the couch in the back of my truck because she would find the
The
gift.
engine
And then-
blew. The truck's not working.
Right. Yeah, something.
Yes.
So anyway, long story short, we ended up hauling the thing to Bend, and she found her gift. And but like I said, I didn't have to wrap it, so it's
You know,
worked out.
my wife is the exact opposite. Even if I try to get her to open it early, like this, you'll really want to open this before Christmas because you'll need it or something. She will not. She refuses. She wants to be surprised. She
Yeah.
wants us to be special on that day.
I'm like that too.
Yeah, and I would look at I'm more like Jill. I'd open it early. My sister used to actually open everybody's presents, not just hers. Everybody's, and rewrap them
That's rad.
every Christmas. She knew it, so she was not surprised at all, but she had to know. So
Yeah.
My wife is more of a child that way. She will kind of like, oops, I found this. It's like,
oops. She's got wrapping paper all over the room. Oops, I
she got
found
a bow
it.
stuck to her
Oops, I
head.
did it again.
Yeah. So she's
Awesome.
But my biggest thing, I mean, I think I'm ready, but I have to wait till the end, like the week of Christmas, to do my Christmas shopping for her because she will see all of like the bank statements
Yeah.
and know exactly what I got her. So I have to wait like as long as I can to do it, and then it's the worst time of the year to do it. Like
Right.
you can't find a place to park no matter where you go. You can't walk
Yep.
through the store. Everyone's in a bad mood. Like his shelves are empty. It's just horrible
Right.
every year. But we got there.
Happy holidays.
Felice. Felice. So you're all ready for Christmas. Where you guys are all going to be at home for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. You got family coming over or what?
We're headed out to Prineville.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, going to go to Grandma's house for a little bit, and then my sister, who lives out of the area, rented a place out here for a few days, and so we're going to go spend some time over there. And
Do you have Christmas traditions?
our traditions are in flux right now; they're changing, so we're figuring out new Christmas traditions.
New traditions.
The kind of the old tradition has been, my whole life, Christmas Eve at Grandma's, and Grandma makes a big deal of it. But
Gotcha.
Grandma's getting older, and
Yeah.
it's harder for her to make a big deal of it.
Yeah.
So this year she wanted everybody to pick a number kind of a thing and just do, kind of get one person a gift instead of like getting everybody
As the
getting
family
everybody
grows.
gifts,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's different, but we're figuring out new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
You know,
Traditions.
the traditions have kind of changed over the years as well. But all in all, it's always just the kids, the grandkids end up at our house at some point usually, and
Yep.
have a big meal. Now they, a lot of them want to do Christmas morning at their place, and this year, of course, we have the church service, so that kind of
Right.
changes things. But usually, by about midday, people show up, and then we always start with the stockings. Joy does this. She goes crazy on the stocking. She wraps every individual thing that goes inside the stocking, and then there's like 20 things in the stocking
Oh wow.
for everybody.
How big are these stockings?
They're pretty good sized.
I remember the one year she bought my wife a Christmas present. Do you
Yeah,
remember that?
I do.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And
It was-
she wrapped like boxes within boxes within boxes, each individually wrapped.
She was turning
like,
30
It
or-
was amazing. Like got her like 30 different things,
Yeah.
each in a wrapped box,
Yeah.
like perfectly wrapped, like professionally wrapped by herself. Like it was crazy. Like the time she put
It takes a lot of time because each grandkid has to unwrap everything that's in their stocking,
Yeah.
and you generally kind of watch them do their thing. And so it from start to finish, the present stuff takes a long time.
I'm starting to
Yeah.
see a thing here. She doesn't like opening gifts. She doesn't like to destroy. She wants to.
yeah.
together.
She loves
Yeah.
wrapping
Wants
stuff,
to
and her
create.
presents look
Mhm.
professional.
Wants to
They're-
create.
very nice. So anyway, yeah. So cinnamon rolls. We always have cinnamon rolls on Christmas Day.
Yes.
Mackenzie usually makes those, which are delicious. And this year we're doing roast. We don't normally do roast, but we thought, what can we throw in the crock pot early in the morning? So when we go to church, come back and everything. So try to make it simple. So
That's a bummer.
roast beef.
I'm sorry.
I know you don't like roast a lot, but it can be good.
Not all roast beef is equal, but
Yeah.
when it's good, it's good.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Prime rib and their rotisserie.
What traditions do you guys have?
That's a tradition right there. Prime rib. Yep. So that's kind of like all I care about. Like I don't care about gifts. I don't care about what people get me. It's
Just
like,
give me the prime
when's
rib.
the prime rib gonna be done? Like that's it. So yeah, we do that. Grandma always did Bannock's fried Indian bread. It's called Bannock's. So that's Christmas morning.
Huh, I've never heard
And
that term before.
of course she's with the Lord. So Lindy kind of took that over.
Oh, that's cool.
And so early in the morning on Christmas morning, it's like Bannock's for breakfast, and it's super good.
Nice.
Prime rib for dinner, lunch, and Yeah, not many. I think we're in flux too. The family's growing so rapidly. God's adding to the family so quickly that you can't just go out and buy what you want for everybody anymore,
Right.
and they can't do it either. So we got to try to figure these things out. So yeah. So I don't know. We're learning new traditions and stuff like you guys for sure. So all right. We said last week that we don't like Christmas songs, didn't we? Maybe that was Jeff.
Well, I think a couple weeks ago we bagged on some Christmas songs, maybe 2 or 3 weeks back.
No. So not the secular ones. Like
Last week, I think we ruined a couple of Christmas, like kind of traditional Christmas
Oh,
songs
no,
for people as we unpacked the.
I think we did for
Some
sure.
scripture.
For sure. But let's talk for a few minutes about Christian Christmas songs. So more in the vein of like hymns or traditional Christian Christmas songs. Do you have one that you do like, or do you like those in general or no?
I like the good ones.
Okay. Well,
like the ones that are true.
okay. Well, give me a good one.
God rest you, merry gentlemen.
Okay.
I like that one.
Okay. Because you can picture them in a pub,
Right.
like with a mug,
Right.
like this,
Yeah,
while they're
swinging their
singing.
mug,
just
lifting
like
the mug at some point.
yeah.
Tidings and clinking the
No,
mugs.
I
and,
get why you like that
tidings
one.
of
The
joy.
tidings of comfort and joy.
Yeah, comfort and joy, comfort and joy, comfort and joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that actually, I pulled up some lyrics of that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you why.
Yeah.
That's one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's just got good lyrics. God rest you, merry gentlemen. Let nothing you dismay. Remember, Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day. And I know last week, like, it's debatable if it was actually Christmas Day, but
Can I go back?
Yeah.
Who do you think's talking to who here? Like, who are the merry gentlemen and who's saying God rest you, merry gentlemen?
that's a good question.
I think it's some dudes in a pub.
I never really thought about it, but maybe, maybe.
All
yeah,
right.
Yeah. To save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Mm-hmm.
There's more verses, but just there's truth there.
Yeah. Well, there is truth there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So God rest ye, merry gentlemen's kind of the punchline, which means that we get rest
Right.
as a result of.
Right. Good God has rescued
came
us
to
from
town?
Satan's power.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good.
So spiritual rest.
There's no lists. There's no checking them twice in this song.
That's good. I like it.
you know.
When was that one written? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't look up when it was written. See if I can find something
You
here.
didn't go into the history of it?
I didn't go into the
Come
history of
on,
it at
Chad.
all.
What
I
were
should
you-
have, but
What have
I,
you been doing
but
all
I
week?
didn't.
Like working and stuff?
Yes, I have been working this week.
Are there any others that, or is that kind of your top tier right there?
I mean, there's lots, but I just picked one.
Yeah.
For today. And
One's
there
one's
we go.
good. Brent?
Well, I would say lyrically, I've got one, and then musically, I've got one.
Okay,
And
so
I
they're
think,
not-
I
not
That's a
think,
the
good
same.
distinction.
I think musically, it's your favorite one. So I'm gonna wait for you to do that.
Do you
one
know?
to see.
Do you know which one I'm going to say?
You want me to say? You're
No,
gonna say,
don't say.
"Oh come, Emmanuel."
Yeah, dude.
That was going to be second on my list if I had
That one musically, I love. So I'll let you go there. But the one that I lyrically really enjoy is "Hark the Herald Angels," which is "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." You get that Luke 2, kind of thing. The Charlie Brown Christmas,
Hark means
which I love.
what?
Yeah.
What does hark mean?
Hark, like an announcement, kind of thing.
Proclamation.
So, hark the herald angels sing glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic host proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Glory to the newborn King.
Yep.
It's just like, and it goes on. Then it goes,
Yeah, that's
the
good.
Prince of Peace. It's just great theological
Yeah.
sound lyrics, which I love.
Right.
It's funny how straight up gospel the Christmas songs are when you
Yeah.
start paying attention to the lyrics. I think a lot of times they get lost in
Right.
kind of the tune. The jingle itself kind of, I don't know, seems a little bit quirky or whatever, weird. But if you listen to the lyrics of Christmas songs, like the Incarnation stuff, it's straight gospel.
Yeah,
Like it tells it very clear. Kind of gets to the point.
Yeah. And I love the old school singers that do, back in the day, Bing and Nat King Cole
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
Andy
yeah. The
Williams. All these
crooners.
guys, they all did these songs.
Yeah.
If you had a Christmas album out, you would find these the
Sure.
Christian hymns were right up, And so when I hear it, I hear that,
Sure.
the old guys singing it.
Yeah,
I love
Sure.
it.
You know who I hear?
Do you hear what I hear?
I didn't used to. Bad Religion.
Oh, yeah, you told me. Yeah, I've not heard that album.
So if that sounded weird to you, it is weird. So they're an old punk band, right, from the early '80s, and I used to listen to them as a little skater punk. And Bad Religion is their name, and literally, like, that's what they mean by it. Like their logo is a cross with a circle and a line through it. Like it's like the worst, thing you can have. And they put out, I want to say like 10 years ago, a Christmas album that's not any contemporary stuff or like secular stuff. It's all classic, gospel centered, and it's I thought it was going to be a mockery when I heard it because they don't believe in any of that stuff, and they did a good job on it. It's all punk, like straight hard, and it's good. Like it's if you like punk, then you're going to like this. It's good, but it's all these songs that are just punked up and done well by a band that doesn't even believe in Christ or like anything that has to do with him. So I don't know why I went into that, but there you go.
All right.
That's become my favorite album, Christmas album, and by a bunch of people that aren't even Christians. So you are right on mine. Okomakum, Emmanuel, definitely, and I would say lyrically and sonically, and musically.
I like it lyrically too, but
Yeah.
the tune itself is just good. And by the way, how is Emmanuel spelled, David?
Well,
go back to last
So
week.
I wanted to ask you.
not-
this. Well, if you look in your Bibles, it's with an I, but everybody who does this song, it's an E. And so, help me.
It's not. So it's a
What are we-
Hispanic Jesus.
Yes, this one's a.
Manuel.
It was written by a conquistador back in.
Yeah, I think it's because it was originally in Latin, and then there was.
I don't know what that meant.
It has to do with I think it being
No,
written
it was
in
Latin. Yeah. Around the 8th century or 9th century, it was a Latin tune. The monks used to sing it apparently in the monastery, and it was I think it was originally a poem, but they would also, I guess, chant it, and it was one of the back and forth call and answer type things. And then I think it was maybe 1800s. Someone finally put it together into a song, kind of solidified it in a song.
It's got that beautiful haunting.
It's insane.
in a
So
good way.
haunting's
Just-
the word that
I love it.
I like stuff that's a little intense. I don't want to say on the depressing side,
Yeah.
but I would definitely say on the intense or serious side. And the whole melody is intense and serious.
Yeah.
And I think the words go with the melody perfectly because it's kind of a love letter to Israel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In ways. I mean, when you get to the 7th verse, which no one ever sings, it blows open to the nations and the Gentiles too. But if you look at the first 5 or 6 verses, it's Jewish, and it's kind of like this, hang in there type of thing. Your king is coming. You know what I mean? And so you can just picture yourself being a first century Jew, wanting to make sure your people hear these words of this song. But again, the music and the chord progression, it's so. How do you say? It's bleak, but beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
And then it's punctuated with the rejoice, which is just grand and celebratory. And so I love the contrast of it musically, sonically. It's rad. Love the song. Love the song. I can listen to this song over and over again on a loop, and get goosebumps every single time it comes on.
Yep.
Over and over again. It's just
Does
crazy.
Bad Religion cover that one?
They do. The first 3 verses. And it's legit.
All right.
Yeah, I don't get goosebumps from theirs, but get the blood pumping. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nice.
So, yeah. So that's probably my passage, scripture. Let's go that direction. Chad, favorite Christmas scripture or passage.
I like John 1.
Dude, you can't like that because I like that.
Well, I
knew
figured
you-
we
I knew-
both
like
all
that. I
like
knew you were
similar
both
ones,
going
right?
I thought all 3 of us were going to end up going there. I mean,
Yeah.
I tried to find something else more obscure. Hey, I'm not cool if I choose what everyone else
Right.
chooses. And then I'm I don't even care. This is
It's the consummate.
this is
passage
it.
of
I mean,
the incarnation.
all of it.
Yeah.
From 1 to 14, all of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Should we read it?
I think we should because wait, hang on. Do you have something different?
Well, when I opened my Bible today, I opened to
Played Bible bingo.
I opened to Isaiah 9, which is another one that I love, which is, for to us a son is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And it goes on from there. But
That was my invocation.
I
last week.
did see that. But anyway, this is since I opened to it,
It's
I
legit.
wouldn't say it's my favorite is actually Luke 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
which, and I didn't mean to jump ahead of you there, but
No,
Luke
no,
2.
Which is the whole nativity.
Luke 2 is but yeah, you've got
account.
the angels,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and honestly, if you haven't seen it in a long time, just go
Nativity.
back and watch. No, the stinking Charlie Brown
We
Christmas
watched
special.
it the other night. Yeah.
It's like maybe 18 or 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
short. And Charlie Brown is frustrated. He wants to know what's the meaning of Christmas. Can anybody tell me the meaning of Christmas? And Linus like grabs his blanket. He goes, I can tell you. And he goes out and he just reads Luke 2.
Yeah.
And it is glorious. I mean,
Linus
cool.
grabbed his swaddling cloth.
he did. He grabbed his swaddling
and
clothes.
read Luke
Yeah,
2.
and which also includes the term swaddling clothes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, it
it's there's something about that even as a kid I remember seeing that,
Yeah.
and to know that it's still on TV today, and then they just literally read the Christmas story in Luke 2 to me is
sure.
fantastic.
I don't think
For
it's gonna.
sure.
It might not be on TV much longer. I think Apple bought it. Can't remember the details, but like it's not going to be on cable TV. Like you have to pay for it. I think after this year.
Well,
Yeah.
you can watch it
What
on
I read.
YouTube.
You're going to have to go
for
find
free
it
right
on
now,
DVD
so.
somewhere.
Something, yeah.
I had to do that with the. Well, never mind. It was a different Charlie Brown, but it was the Great Pumpkin,
Yeah, it makes
which
sense.
is not quite as spiritual.
Anyway, sorry, John 1. You
Yeah.
were-
Yeah, John 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with so I can't even stumble my words here. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and that life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it.
Then you can skip down to 9.
All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Skipping down to 9.
You don't have to do that, Jeff.
Bring
so
my
confused.
large print Bible a little closer.
Skip ahead
so I
a
can
bit,
see it.
brother Maynard.
So 9, the true light, which gave light to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, all who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God, who were born not of blood, not of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth.
I mean, what can you add to that?
That's just good stuff.
Just it covers it.
Yeah.
Covers what needs to be covered.
So what do you? I mean, is that what you like so much about it?
Yeah.
Is just that it covers everything?
It tells you what you need to know.
His deity's there,
Right.
right? Like where he started and where he belongs,
Right.
right? Which
Right.
which gives you contrast
Sure.
to what's coming.
In
The
his
gospel's
humanity,
there,
because the Word became flesh.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
The condescension, God, he dwelt among us.
Yes.
Right. God came down
Yes.
to us.
Yes.
Well, just the light of the world. I mean, when I think of Christmas and you picture all the
Yes.
lights and the light
Totally.
breaking through the darkness is just all there. It's just so good.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful picture, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is obviously the gospel. But yeah, I love the contrast that that he came. It gives weight to like that God came and dwelt among us.
Right.
Like the incarnation idea can be cheapened sometimes if it's not put in its proper
Right.
context. And so I love how he starts with like this one that became flesh and dwelt among
Right.
us, was in the beginning,
Right. He's eternal.
was the Word, was with God, was God, made everything.
Right.
Like it establishes like all these things, and then
Yeah.
the idea is like, oh, and then by the way,
And then
like
he came to us.
he came and like underneath all those things he made.
Yeah.
Like he decided to
to
come
us.
under all those things he made, and that's just mind blowing.
Right. And then we rejected him. We didn't recognize him for who he was,
Sure. Yeah.
but he shined the light anyway.
Yeah.
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 No, that's the quintessential one to me, obviously, and obviously this is really where we get like the word incarnation is really from like John 14. You know, the Word
Yeah.
became flesh and dwelt among us, or tabernacled among us, and then but it says the Word became flesh, dwelt among us, and we have seen His glory, the glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth.
Yep.
Let's talk about that for a second. Like what's being said there? That we have seen His glory, which is full of grace and truth.
Right. But I think of when Moses went up the mountain and like he couldn't handle seeing the fullness of the glory of God. Right.
Yeah, he got sunburnt.
He did, and when he came down from the mountain, like everybody knew something happened, right? Because of his countenance, and we have seen in the person of Christ the fullness of God. Scripture tells us that the fullness of God was pleased to dwell in Christ, and so we've seen in Jesus throughout his ministry. Always said, "If you've seen me, you've seen the Father."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I and the Father are one. Hebrews tells us that Jesus is the radiance of the glory of God.
Yeah, that's a good word for it, huh?
Yeah.
The radiance.
Yeah.
So we didn't get sunburnt, or they didn't get sunburnt
Right.
by seeing Jesus, but like they saw His glory, and what he did and how he lived and how he treated people, right? That was the grace and the truth, what he taught. Like they actually saw it in the flesh, the glory of his perfection and in truth and and grace. So yeah, amazing. Brent, you want to add anything to that?
No.
Yeah, it's legit,
it's
man.
good.
Yeah.
By the way, what are you teaching on?
We're going to talk
Oh no,
about
never mind.
Christ as servant.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But the thing that I'm kind of
Staying in
focused in
Hebrews.
on is the contrast between we've been talking about prophet, priest, and king,
Right.
which are all very deserved and appropriate titles for Christ.
Yeah.
And then you get to this idea of servant, which makes no sense at all. And so just kind of contrasting those two things
Yeah,
together,
right.
and the passage that I just think is fitting for that is when Jesus washes the feet of the disciples.
Okay, yeah.
And then how is that even possible?
Right.
You know, so we're going to be kind of just talking about
Right.
that aspect of Christ, that he came to serve us.
Yeah, here's
Yeah.
your prophet, priest, and king washing your gross feet.
Yeah,
Right.
It's kind of
Yeah.
so that's the heart of it.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
going with the same passage
Oh,
as
wow.
well. Maybe
Nice.
it might not quite the same slant you were going, but I'm going with the same.
Are you going to
passage,
tell
John
everyone
13.
that's a third sacrament to the church?
Well, we're going to bring in basins and towels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm in the nursery that night.
I'm
is
going
'cause I
to
heard-
go barefoot that day.
Jay, are you out there?
He just got excited.
Well, he sent me a text this week. He's like, "Can you preach on this verse?" And I opened it up, and it was a verse of take off your
Yeah.
sandals, you're on holy ground.
We're not going to wash feet.
We're not going to wash
No.
feet.
No, that's right.
We
up
don't
there
like
with,
feet.
That's right up there with greet everybody next to you on Sunday mornings. I'll never do that, and I don't think I'll ever make somebody wash somebody else's feet. But if you want to do
Holy
it,
kisses and feet washing are
Yeah.
right out at this. We're
there's
just not
anything-
that kind of church.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can do it if you want to, but
You
not
won't
on my
even
watch.
greet the person next to you.
I don't like that.
That's a hard line.
It's weird to me when you stop.
It
the
is weird,
service
but,
and again, introverts unite. You know, it's like no, we're not doing that. You can if you want, but
Yeah, don't talk to
Yeah.
anybody.
yeah, no.
I've been coming here for 10 years, and I've gotten away with not talking to anybody.
Hey, Rebecca Walls has my back. That's all I know. She's with me.
Okay, now the important stuff. Favorite Christmas movie?
I think I know what Chad's going to say.
What do you think? I'm curious what you think I'm going to say.
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard.
I would put that on the list, but it wouldn't be
First
my
Blood.
favorite Christmas.
First Blood
movie.
would be considered a Christmas movie too, right? If Die Hard is,
Right.
because there were like Christmas trees in the background of
Yeah.
the police office.
Or
It
Con
was
Air.
Christmas time.
Immediately they said Con Air is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I'm not buying most of that. But
No, I have two very different top movies, and so one would be It's a Wonderful Life, and the other would be Christmas Vacation.
oh well, yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So different ends of the spectrum, but I watch both multiple times in a Christmas season.
Chad, I think we might actually be right there with each other on this one. I'm,
Yeah?
I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of both of those
Okay.
for different reasons. I'm not.
I knew
I'm
you were a
not,
fan of
I'm
Wonderful
not
Life.
endorsing everything in Christmas Vacation, by the way.
Yeah.
No, but it's hilarious.
It really is. And I am a Christmas Story guy. Not this new
Yeah, I
thing
do
they
like
just
the-
tried to remake.
I haven't watched the new one.
My wife did, and I couldn't
Christmas
bring
Story's
myself to do it. I feel like some things should be left alone. Like as much as we think we want more
Yeah.
of that thing because we love it, it's never going to be right. So just don't redo it or don't do it again.
Right.
And I think this one was that way. But the original Christmas Story to me is legit.
Interesting tidbit that you may not know. So in Elf, one of the elves was Ralphie. Did you know that?
Yeah, I
Are
did.
you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Adult Ralphie was one of the elves
Yeah,
in the movie Elf.
I think I've only seen Elf like once. So I don't remember it.
You wouldn't necessarily recognize like it. I mean, you would see him and you wouldn't necessarily think, "Oh, that's Ralphie."
Okay.
But once someone points out that's Ralphie, it's like, "Yeah, that's Ralphie."
A little bit of trivia there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Brent, let's go.
So this year is the very first year that I had ever watched It's a Wonderful Life. I don't know how I'd never seen it, but I just hadn't, and so watched it for the first time, and it instantly became
It's legit.
my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It was so good.
How old are you?
55.
And didn't see one. It's a Wonderful Life.
I knew what it
That's
was. I remember
kind
seeing
of
Jimmy
remarkable.
Stewart walking around going "Merry Christmas,"
Yeah.
you know Christmas. I mean, I remember that. I remember something about Clarence and an angel gets his wings. I'd heard a few things, but I never really watched it start to finish.
Well, that's one of the funnest things to say at the right time is like, "Attaboy, Clarence."
Yeah.
Attaboy, Clarence.
Sure. Anyway, it was just from top to bottom one of the best movies I've ever
Legit.
seen,
Yep.
and probably the best Christmas music I've ever seen. But
Jimmy
I
Stewart's
would
a
say, as far as a story about Christmas, story. A Christmas Carol, the story about Scrooge,
Yes.
the Dickens classic. As far as like the Christian
Yes.
kind of, there's just so much in that I
There
think
is,
is something Christians should watch and think about as far as not wasting your life and,
Yep.
and making it count. And It's a Wonderful Life had that in there too. You know,
And
there's-
even finding joy in the
Yeah.
real things rather than the false things.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
there's
I
a
would
lot
say-
of layers.
and
to it.
that's been done multiple times. I think there was an '80s version. There's a Jim Carrey version. There's
It's been done a million
I think
times.
there's
What's the Bill Murray? It's not a Christmas Carol.
Scrooge.
But Scrooge.
Scrooge,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one I think is pretty raunchy. If I,
I
remember
think that
right.
one might be
it ain't
rated R.
Yeah, and then the Muppet one, of course, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of
But I like that story.
Jim Carrey. He
Yeah, I'm not
actually
either.
annoys me.
Yeah.
That is easily my favorite Christmas Carol.
Okay.
It's animated.
Really?
The one
I've
with
never
George.
seen it.
So
George C.
it's him animating the main part, Scrooge. So it's not like it's animated, but the animation's brilliant. I think the way it's told, the way it moves and is paced, like it's legit. So I actually watch that one
I'll have
every
to check
year.
it out.
I like
Yeah.
watching that one. So
Yeah,
it's a good
it's a
story.
great story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see?
And Little Women. Just kidding. Keep going.
Wait, what did you?
From the guy that wears Crocs.
What did you just say?
It's a good Christmas movie.
Do you watch it with your Crocs on?
I might.
I'm so glad I have an advocate with Chad on this, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not the
We're
only one.
moving towards an intervention here.
Me
No,
too.
we're-
Me
yep.
too.
We're interceding. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh,
totally
as
got
far
distracted.
as actual Christmas, like nativity stories, nativity.
Oh,
was-
the
the
story.
nativity
that
was
great.
actually legit, even though it played into some of the falsities that we talked about last week, as far as the wise men there right away and all that stuff. Like it was pretty good.
I haven't
Like
seen that in a long time.
I think it's only been out. It came out like 11 years ago, or 12 years ago, or
Yeah, something
15
like that.
years ago, or
I've only seen
Yeah.
it once, but it was very
well,
good.
we
Yeah,
took our
saw it in the
wives
theater.
to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theater and saw
That's
it together. And the crescendo, it's funny because I knew it was coming. Like, oh, Jesus is going to be born, and this is cool. Like like I wasn't prepared. I got emotional, man. Like even knowing what was coming, like the way that it was
Yeah.
done, it was kind of overwhelming when he was born still, and kind of did its thing on me.
Yeah, I
So-
forgot about that one. That's a really good one.
It's pretty legit as far as a nativity story. So, what are some things you guys? We already talked about this. Hate about this time of the year, about Christmas, or some of the things that are maybe not hate. Some of the things that are challenging or difficult, or is there anything challenging or
I
difficult?
mean,
this
just the
time?
busyness that comes along with this time
Yeah,
of year
it stinks.
tends to take away from the reason for this time of year. Tends to take away our thoughts of
Sure.
like just all the things that we have to do. And as good as like family gatherings are, like there's just a lot of things that come with it that
Yeah.
have to be done. And so we constantly have to be reminded of what really matters this time of year.
How do you do that? Like, is there any specific way that you combat that, or
No.
it's easier when we're a pastor
Right.
because we have
Right,
to
we
be in
kinda
the
have
Word
to.
regularly, and we have to speak truth to people regularly, and so like
Right.
we kind but for people that maybe aren't, like I wonder what would be like suggestions for people to keep their brain focused on the main thing. What would you tell them?
As silly as some of our kind of jokes have been, like watching the right Christmas movies and listening to the right Christmas songs,
Which is not Scrooged
right,
or
that,
Christmas Vacation.
That helps, and I'm not bagging on not saying don't watch other movies, but when we listen to the things that tell us truth,
Yeah.
and we see movies and listen to songs that tell us truth, that's just a simple way for us to kind of ground ourselves in what matters this time of year.
Yeah.
I would say that it's a time of year where you naturally can kind of be focus inward, and we have a heightened expectation, and this should be really meaningful, and it should be I don't know, like I hope I get good presents. So you're really kind of self-focused very, very easily this time of year, and that messes everything up. Anytime we get that way, any time of year, you're just asking for disappointment because it's not going to meet your standards. It's not going to. So if you can kind of forget about yourself and really focus on others and stop just to look at what's going on around me, who needs to be called, who needs to be blessed, who needs to be thought of, right? Who needs to be prayed for, encouraged,
Right.
And you kind of go outward instead of inward. I think it changes everything.
Right.
But it's just that it's a really hard time to birthdays are the same way. It's almost like that idea of like I deserve something special right now,
Right.
and then it just kind of messes it all up.
Well, this is really the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. It's a guy that was so internal, so self-focused, that he didn't care about anybody, and he treated everybody like garbage, and he had no joy as a result of it, right? And then there's the redemption, where he finally realizes this is not about me.
Yeah.
Like, this is about others. And then all of a sudden, it changes everything. The son comes out and his attitude changes, and he's generous, and he's skipping down the road, and he's happy again. And it's like, it really makes a difference who we're focused on.
Right.
And self is never the right answer, ever.
Yeah, a couple of years ago when we were kind of the COVID stuff was going on and everybody was somewhat still isolated, it was a weird year. And I'm not bragging. It just came to my mind that morning to sit down at my computer and start blasting out emails and texts to everybody I could think of. I mean, it became like, it was overwhelming, and it was also so exciting and fun because
Sure.
I just kept going, who haven't I thought, Lord, bring more people to mind. And I just kept doing that. And it was one of the coolest times that I can remember on Christmas where I wasn't getting up and thinking, where's my stocking? Where's my food? I just started thinking about other people.
Yep.
And that's not my normal, way of doing things. So again, it was just so cool though. One of the coolest Christmases and one of the best memories I have is just thinking about other people and trying to let them know they matter to me and that we missed them as pastors at the door and things like that. It was really a great day.
Yeah.
And it was just a couple hours where I just sat down and did that, but still sticks in my mind as one of the best Christmases.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like our Christmases have been kind of depressing. Not like the incarnation's never depressing, right? There's always that word. But I mean, as far as the actual actions you go through for years, because the kids have been old and like that changes like what you do practically and the enjoyment of those things. And now that there's grandkids again, it's just like, let's go. Like, Christmas is rad again. You know what I mean? As far as the giving part and all that stuff. Because adults, we don't care.
Seeing Christmas through their eyes and the excitement that they have and all that, it makes it all, it just brings it all to life.
Yeah,
again.
we're teaching them at a young age to be about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right? And we're finding joy in it. So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the devastation, our living room when all is said and done, it's almost kind of, I mean, it's barbaric and
Right.
kind of like you almost think, did we do something wrong?
The amount of calls we
Yeah,
get on
exactly.
Christmas Day due to flash fires in
Oh,
people's
wow.
fireplaces.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody,
stuff in
they
the
take
wrapping
all of that
paper and
junk
stuff.
that litters their living room and they throw it in the fireplace and light it. And you can't do that with wrapping paper.
I just throw it in a
It burns
giant.
so hot, so fast, it creates flash fires.
We throw it in a
And so-
giant bag and then bring it to the church dumpster.
Don't do that, everybody.
Don't do that.
Don't
Though.
do
It's
that.
just a pastor privilege.
So PSA, to save David some grief, don't burn your wrapping paper in your wood stove.
Yeah, don't
Nice.
don't call me.
Better watch out.
David's
It's the
got a
kid's
list.
problem now, but
He's checking it twice.
I got to hear the phone ring all day. So yeah, well, cool. So it's upon us yet again. Christmas Eve night, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, not 6 o'clock. We got a service here, and then one in each location. Normal time, 10 o'clock, Christmas Day. That's going to be a great way. It just blows my mind that we ditched it years ago when it fell on a Sunday, and we thought that was a good idea somehow. I mean, I know why we did.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like excited this year that we get up on Christmas morning,
Right.
and go to church.
Even if there's 20 people here,
who
I
cares?
don't expect it to be a large turnout, and
That's
maybe it
gonna be
will
rad.
be. Maybe we'll be surprised.
Yeah.
But it still is what a cool thing to be able to do.
There will be two people in
Absolutely.
the pine because Chad will be there and I'll be there.
Yeah. So at least that.
We'll worship together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we encourage you guys to show up to one of those or all of them. Well, you can't on Sunday do that,
Yeah.
but both of them. Come on. You know what I meant, Brent.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else as far as Christmas goes?
No,
don't
just
think
lots to be thankful for, and
Lots to be thankful
and
for.
appreciate being able to minister with you guys. Another year kind of coming towards the end, and maybe that'll be something we talk about next week.
Sure.
When we do our New Year's resolutions publicly before everybody. But
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
I have so many.
Wow. Now I got to think of some resolutions now between now and next week.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. That was a joke. But yeah, just Merry Christmas to you guys
Yeah,
and your
Merry
families,
Christmas.
and to all of our faithful listeners.
Appreciate you guys.
Very
Agreed.
much.
All right. Why don't you pray us out?
You want to pray since
Sure.
you're back this week?
Yeah, Father, thank you so much that we get to just spend time talking about one of the greatest things that's ever happened. That you came to us in the form of an infant, that you humbled yourself to come to save sinners, Lord. And so we just pray that wouldn't get lost on us this year as we spend time with family and eat food and have a lot of fun things going on. That would just kind of stay right there in the forefront of all that we do. And Lord, help us to be about others this year too. Help us to think about those maybe that are having a hard time this time of year, and reach out to them and invite them over. Just pray for your blessing upon the churches and the services that go on, and that Jesus would be made much of, and that you might bring some people through the doors that need to hear about him for the first time, and maybe maybe fall on their knees this Christmas before him as their Lord and Savior. And we ask that in his great name. Amen.
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 See ya.